Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's pick a card reading. This is going to be all about what is your witchy archetype. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can hear it in my little voice, but I'm so excited to get to do this reading with you today. This is a timeless reading, but I'm filming it during spooky season. It's just like, I don't know, conditions are perfect. It's a gray, somewhat rainy, kind of like blustery day here in New England. All the foliage is kind of starting to change, and I just felt completely called to sort of look into this. So this might be something where some of what comes through in your kind of witchy archetype is a consistent theme throughout your life. So it's kind of like your overarching archetype, so to speak. And some of this might just kind of talk about the energy that's predominant in your auric field right now. Meaning this might be something that you're kind of just like you're owning for the moment. This archetypal energy might be kind of with you through this period of time in your life. We'll just kind of see what comes forward. And obviously, this is a general reading, so it will resonate differently with each person. So take it as it resonates. But I'm just really super duper excited to get into this with you guys today. It's going to be so good. So we have 3 options to choose from as usual. We have group 1 with this plum blossom tourmaline. I'm still learning. So we have this beautiful baby. And this is the signifying card. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't looked, but I shuffled them for each group. So just letting you look at the image. We have group 2 with this, I'm going to try to say it right. Sorry if I messed it up. Hemimorphite, which I just loved her. Like, look at this. Just look. Oh, beautiful. With this as your signifying archetype card. Can you guys see these? Just making sure. Yeah, you can. Oh, how lovely. All right. And then we have group 3 with this blue apatite obelisk. Obelisk, I love saying that. And this is the signifying card. So, take as much time as you need, pause the video if need be, meditate, contemplate on the stacks in front of you as usual. When you have made your selection, please head down to the timestamps in the description box below. And I do just kind of want to mention, I'm excited to do this reading with you guys today. I haven't done this one before, so if you like this and you would like this reading for yourself personally, please don't be afraid to check out my shop link in the description box below, and you can always DM me for custom readings. And if I get enough kind of positive feedback on this reading, or I get enough custom order requests, I will add it as a permanent fixture to the shop. So, yeah, I think that's everything. With that, let's get started with group 1. I'm about to knock stuff over. All right. Hi, group 1. Okay, so you guys chose the plum blossom tourmaline. Like I said, if you've been with me for a moment, you know that I'm still learning about crystals. But from what I understand, this is a crystal that's really good for kind of emotional healing and protection. So you might kind of resonate as a healer. You may have a very healing effect on other people. I'm hearing restoring emotional balance. Like, there's this energy of emotions meets justice, where it's like you might come in and kind of like help restore emotional balance for people who have been on the receiving end of kind of something unjust when it comes to the heart, like matters of the heart. So like maybe you're kind of a magnet for people who are, there's a bird flying around right outside my window. I was about to say broken birds, but then I decided not to, and then a bird flew right by. So apparently they're not so broken anymore. And that might be because of you. You might like have, this effect of like being able to really like help nurture people who have been through a lot of emotional difficulty. You might be that kind of person who you help get people back on their feet. But that's kind of something I'm hearing is like I feel like you kind of right the wrongs. You bring balance back in a cosmic way to situations and to people who have been, yeah, again, slighted is the word I'm hearing, but it's like things are out of balance cosmically, and that might be where they're like, oh, send in group one. So I am kind of getting that, but I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so let's see what we have for your oracle cards, and I'll bring out tarot. We have, ooh, the Flame Tender's Temple, card 34. That reduces to a 7. And I am going to read from the guidebook for this one because I am still learning this deck. You have, ooh, guidance. Okay. I love it. I love it. We have Emerald, calm your mind, body, and soul, card 30. So that reduces to a 3. So you might really resonate with the color emerald. This is the birthstone for May. So some of you might be born in May as well. This is also a stone that has a lot to do with unconditional love. So I'm not surprised. We have, ooh, invisibility with authenticity. And then, oh, this is the friend. Yeah, 11, so that reduces to a 2. But it says, I am my own best friend and magnetize other loving friendships. What were we talking about? So I'm going to leave this side up here. So I do want to read the guidebook for this really quickly before we, oh, I'm grabbing the guidebook. Just to make sure I'm getting the most out of it. Excuse me. My allergies, you guys. So this is, the property for this is long vision, and it says, witches have the long vision. Witches know that great things take time to cook, and the most epic spells take time to come to fruition. Witches see themselves as part of a long line of wise ones, with their most ancient ancestors and loving descendants as part of their story. We are but a single breath in the wild myth that is our soul family. We are so small, yet so extraordinary. We must tend the flames for this damaged miracle we call a planet. We must tend the flames in the name of dying art and soon to be reborn grace. Consider this. What did your grandmother's light candles and speak prayers for that they themselves did not receive, though you perhaps have? And what do you sing your hopeful songs for that might only come to pass for your compassionate yet to be born kin? So I like that, first of all. We have a lot of kind of energy here about very spiritual energy. You guys might be really tapped in to your spirituality. And this could be something that you do actively, and this also could be something that you just inherently feel called to do. I'm feeling like a big sense of like spiritual moral obligation with this group. And not like, oh, I have to do XYZ because obligation. But like, I'm almost getting with invisibility and authenticity and just the image here. You are part of a long line of people who fulfilled similar roles, right? You are part of a line of like an evolutionary line, kind of like what the book was suggesting, where this has been something that's been practiced with your ancestors, or, you know, even if you're like, you don't identify as an earth soul, with your kind of like star lineage for a very long time. With your spiritual family, your spiritual tribe, whether this is also people who have been part of your ancestral line, just because, again, you know, there's going to be people of all walks of life, spiritual and otherwise, kind of watching. So this could be of your like legitimate ancestral line, or this could just be like of your soul family's line. But you are the next iteration, the next generation of souls in your lineage, whatever that might mean for you, that does this work, right? You know, because we have these kind of like dualistic sort of things of invisibility and authenticity, meaning that you are very true to yourself, but there's an element because it's missing hands and a face. There's an element of there's a personal element that's missing from this image. So that while you personally have authenticity, it's like it's your personal spin. And I like we have a cloaked individual. We have all cloaked individuals here. It's your personal spin on what your soul has been prepared to do, what your lineage is prepared to do. And you also have a lot of, like I said, ancestors, whether these are like part of your ancestral lineage or like your spiritual lineage that are helping guide you along the way, right? So like I was saying, for a lot of you, excuse me, with, you know, the friend here, I feel like you're that friend everybody can count on. You're that friend that pops up in the moments of greatest need for others. You have a very calming effect, very healing effect, exactly like what we were talking about. You also offer a lot of support and guidance for other people. I feel like you help other people who have been in situations where they almost feel invisible. You've helped them find their authenticity, right? Help them find their power again, because again, we're missing a face and hands. And you know, obviously your face is so personal to how you look that it's like, it's very specific to you. But also anything with the hands, when I see like hands, these talk about like, first of all, hands always make me think of the things that make us human, just because they're so unique to our species, but they're also our empowerment, because it's how we do so many things, right? It's how we do a lot. And obviously, like, you know, it's not like a necessary thing. Like there are folks who don't have their hands or never, you know, had their hands that like work around that, but they're just so ubiquitous to like our species. I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of weird, but whenever I see it, so when I'm seeing this image, right, missing a face and missing hands, meaning, you know, hiding or missing a sense of personal authenticity, while also missing a sense of personal empowerment, right? Or being able to do things for themselves. And I feel like you find people in these moments where they've lost themselves. They've lost not only parts of their personal identity, but who they, like, their personal power. And for some of you, you meet people when they are shifting, they're transitioning their identity, right? And what I mean by that is that they're shifting into a new version of themselves, a new role, a new way of doing things. And you find them in these moments where they might just feel totally lost and like disempowered, or it's like they're going through this shift and this transition and they don't know what to do or how to be. Because I'm also noticing this little kind of like this little goddess statue here, but the little goddess statue is like naked. But nakedness always implies vulnerability, and it's interesting here how we have like the clothes, the cloak, right, the tunic, but we have like no person inside of it. So especially where it's like enshrined and protected here, spiritually and physically, I do feel like you show up into people's lives when they're going through this transitionary period, or to help them rediscover and kind of like regain their footing within themselves. Like I said, I feel like a lot of you, especially because we have a master number here, you have a lot of help from ascended masters in helping others, but you also you also guide other people, right? That's the big thing, especially with guidance. So you are heavily guided and heavily protected, and you also pass that on, right? And look at how we have this like drop of water. It's a ripple effect. You know, you draw down insight, you draw down, especially because water always is indicative of emotions and intuition in the tarot. So when I see it now in tarot and oracle, it's what I think of. It's like you draw down intuitive spiritual information and disseminate that out and create a ripple effect. Like, I hope that makes sense. I know it's a weird way to put it. You also might be really good at connecting other people to one another. So like you would be that friend that's like, you know what, like let's say you meet somebody excuse me, at an event, and you guys have some stuff in common, and this person's been like, yeah, you know, I maybe like they just moved here, they don't have any friends yet, or they're going through kind of a transitionary phase where like all their friends have moved away and they're feeling kind of alone. You're like, I feel like some of you are that person that's like, oh, you know what, I have a friend who also loves doing XYZ, we should all hang out. Like, you connect people as well, because I'm almost getting like you're like this central hub for other energies as well. And some of these energies are people who back up, Vanessa. People who are embodied, and some of these energies are like spirit guides, like other people who, it's like you connect people like in the same soul tribe, whether they're embodied or not. I don't know how else to describe that. So your witchy archetype is that of a connector, but also a healer. I also feel like you see people who are otherwise remain unseen in their daily lives. You see parts of people who, like, they're used to being invisible. It feels like this energy of maybe used to shying away from attention, used to being like there for other people or being of service to other people, but not having that back. You see people in ways that they're not used to being seen. Excuse me. Yeah, also a very, like I said, very healing effect, very calming effect. We have the numbers 7, 3, and 2 showing up, so any of those might be important. But I want to get more information about like your witchy archetype, what you do for people, what you bring to the table. Yeah. Yeah, the 3 of Swords reversed at the bottom. You really help heal people after heartbreak, I feel like. You're a very healing energy. And I also like that we have and magnetize other loving friendships. Again, you attract people to you. You connect people. Wow, okay, Judgment. The 4 of Pentacles reversed. Sorry if you can hear like that clinking sound. I have iced coffee and the ice is moving around. And the Wheel of Fortune. Holy shiz. Okay. This is really, really cool. So really spiritual energy off the bat here. We have Pluto energy showing up, Jupiter energy showing up here. There's something where, okay, I'm kind of seeing a story. So you see how we have mice here and we have some mice here. And we have these cats that are kind of like, I like how they're like not paying attention to each other. This cat's got its back turned. This cat's like looking lovingly up at the cat statue. I don't know why, that's really funny to me. But what I feel like kind of happens here is that you meet people when they're at a turning point in their life, right? Judgment is that kind of energy where they're going through a transformation, they're having a wake-up call. You might be this wake-up call for people, but I feel like it's in a situation where they're stuck, right? Like, I'm almost getting this cat looks like they're ignoring this cat. Like, I'm going to give them the silent treatment. And this cat's not even really paying attention to that. This cat's kind of like looking up to this little gargoyle for guidance, possibly in love with it. We don't know. But like, I feel like when there are situations where people aren't connecting or it's like this energy, something's not working in people's lives, and it's interpersonal with the 2 cats here, right? And especially where this cat's looking up at like the stone cat, it's almost like looking to spirit, right? And we see this with the Jupiter energy here as well. And this is really like a spiritual wake-up call, right? So when you meet people, when people are brought into your life, I feel like usually it's this person. It's like something hasn't worked in their life. Something has fallen apart or is falling apart. It's not working, right? They're not connecting. It doesn't have to be interpersonal relationships, though I do see that as a focus here. When something that they are very emotionally attached to with the Emerald energy hasn't worked out, isn't working, and they kind of look to spirit, right, with this wake-up call energy of like, why is this not working? What do I do next? You know, why did this happen? How do I kind of crawl out of this? Again, asking those big important questions, because Judgment's all about a turning point in your life, right? Looking at where you've been, how it got you to where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. And Judgment's also making big choices that have the potential for very long-term impacts. As well as, you know, it's a second chance, it's a resurrection. So when people have had, you know, a situation where the bottom is just fallen out of it and they're looking to spirit for more answers, that's when you come into their life, I feel. And with the 4 of Pentacles reversed, especially with the mouse in the cat's mouth, it's kind of like this energy of there's something they're holding on to, and excuse me, I'm sorry. There's something that they're holding on to, but what I'm hearing is it's not the whole story, right? So they might be holding on to like one thing, and it's just not the entirety of the situation or their story, right? So like, because I'm seeing a story unfolding here. It's like, let's say like these are 2 people, right? And this one's ignoring this one, and this one's like, why? Why did this have to happen? It's like they're holding on to one piece of the story, right? Like this would be somebody who has a mindset of like, oh, everybody always leaves me, or why does this always happen? Or, you know, like, oh, I can't trust anybody. Or they're like, they're looking to spirit for answers, but they have a mindset or a belief or a wound that's remained unhealed that prevents them from actually making progress forward. It prevents them from truly hearing the answer, right? So spirit might come in with synchronicity, with new opportunity, with insight and information. And this person, because they're holding on to one particular, idea, belief, relationship, pattern of behavior, they're not really receiving what Spirit's trying to give them. So this is where you come in. And this is why I feel like this is some of you might be accomplished channelers, but you're like a spiritual hub. This is what I was talking about, where it's like you connect energies and spirits, both who are incarnated and who are in the spirit realm. So this might be where somebody's spirit guides are trying to get their attention and they're not seeing it, they're not hearing it. So boom, you are in their life. And what you help people with is you help people to see parts of themselves that they themselves haven't seen before, as well as to like claim parts of themselves they've been afraid to claim before. Whatever this missing information was or this blockage was, you are here to help people see it more clearly and or heal it. And that's really what you're here to do, right? You come into people's lives very serendipitously, right? With a wagon wheel here, it's like you help turn the wheel. You are somebody's like stroke of good luck. That's kind of your archetype here, is you are here to help get the ball rolling. You might meet a lot of people who, like I said, they're at a turning point in their life, or they're just in a really stagnant place. They're in a really stale energy, and it's because they're holding on to something and it's preventing them from moving forward, and you are here to help unblock them. So for some of you, you might find that this happens in an almost like explosive kind of way, where you're like, I just met this person and then this happened and it's like crazy shit. And for some people, it's very subtle. For some people, they stay in your life for a long time afterward. And for others, they're here for a season. And the entire point is that you're here to help unblock them. You are like, you're like a spiritual X-Lax. I'm sorry, I'm being ridiculous. But that's why, right? And this is also why too, I feel like to other people, you are an authentic person, but you play different roles to different people. So there's this element to which it's like 5 different people. Like let's say, someday, hopefully many days from now, many years from now, when you pass away, if everybody whose life you ever touched came to your funeral, they would all know you as very, very different people to them, right? And it's because you have different roles to play, but the thing they all have in common is you're here to help get people unstuck. But I was gonna say, like, you're not like an instigator. You help like the energy start moving again. And you also help really bring forth guidance. This feels like whenever somebody's like really missing the point, missing what their spirit guides are trying to say. And you might also find that, like, I'm really drawn into magnetize, that you just like attract people like this. You don't go looking for it. People find you. Especially, that's a really good way to tell. That's a really good way to tell who you're meant to help and who you're not, is like the less you go looking for it and the more people find you, you can count on it that's very likely a spiritual connection where you are providing this type of energy, right? Where you are providing, you are the friend. That's your archetype here, is the friend, but it's like the spiritual friend. You bring, what do friends do? Friends help us, friends support us, friends love us, they cheer us on. You help bring all of this energy, both this like exciting, inciting energy as well as this healing energy to other people. And it's a unique mixture that's different for each person, right? Some people you're going to be more of a healer. Some people you're going to be more of kind of like, a gas them up type thing. You're going to kind of motivate and inspire them. But everybody, the underlying theme with everybody is that you're here to help get them unstuck in an area where they've been stuck, where there's been a lot of stagnant energy. That's super duper cool. So I do want to pull you guys a couple of cards of advice to figure out what your guides want you to know about this part of your journey. Okay, I guess we're taking 4 cards. Oh, the Page of Cups. You're just a little love. Oh my God, I love it. So we have, there it is, the 3 of Swords reversed. The World, what was I just talking about? Yup. Death, holy shit. Okay, all right. And the Ace of Wands, you guys, I can't make this shit up. Okay, yeah, exactly. I love this version of the Ace of Wands because we have the cat paw and it's just like hovering over the snake, like do I do it? Do I do it? Do I hit it? And snakes are, they have this like energy of being really deceptive, but they're also very indicative of transformation and healing. I actually have a snake up there too. Yeah, it's like, this is exactly what we're talking about. A, very healing energy with the Three of Swords reversed. We've definitely seen that. B, motivational, inspirational energy with the Ace of Wands. So this is at either end here. Again, these are kind of like the two major things that you bring, but what this, like, what is sort of in the middle that these two are on either side of is that you help people wrap up old cycles, and then you help people through transformations, right? You really help people level up, because like with Judgment to the world, they follow one another. And it's like they're at this place, they want to make a change, they're ready, they want to move forward. Maybe they've been going through a transformation, they've been healing, and they're ready for something new, but they're just kind of like teetering on the edge. And this might be where sometimes they just need that support and motivation. Sometimes they need spiritual, confirmation is what I'm getting, because the paw is like hovering over the snake. Again, like you think about it, like this cat's about to smack the snake, and like obviously in an actual literal context, that's no bueno. We don't like that. But if you think about the snake as being indicative of, or like symbolic of transformation and healing, it's like you're on the verge of like going through a transformation. You're on the verge of healing. You're on the verge of shedding an old skin and becoming the new version of yourself. And it's kind of like, do I do it? Do I go for it? So for some people, you really are just like providing that, this is again, seizing your power. It's that passion, that inspiration, the motivation to keep going. And for some, you really have like primarily this healing effect. It's like they've done almost all the other work. They just need to kind of heal a wound in order to finally like take that next step and to go for it. And you help people with that. But for everybody who comes into contact with you, you really help provide what they need to help them move forward. Excuse my hiccup. To help them move forward, to help them do the remainder of their healing work, to help them, seize their power. We have a lot here about endings. Here, 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 here. Well, Judgment's like, half and half. But we have a lot here about like ending big cycles. So you really help people transition to the next cycle. And for some of you, and I don't think this will apply to many people watching this group, but I am going to put it out here. For some of you, this either is or will transform into working with people who are getting ready to transition to the other side. So this could be where you work in hospice, you're a medium, you start helping, what I'm getting? This is a really weird thing, but bear with me. For some of you, you have mediumship capabilities that either you are aware of or you will unlock and you will develop. And what your natural energy and your natural archetypal energy will lend itself to is that you'll do something that's akin to like spiritual hospice planning. So bear with me. What they're showing me is that this will essentially be where you have mediumship capabilities and you're with people in the final days and weeks of their lives. And what you do is you help talk them through these issues, but you also help them emotionally connect with loved ones who are still here, right? So this would be with their family members, right? You're sitting and you're helping talk about this, but you're also doing like mediumship planning, things like, okay, what will be the signs and synchronicities when I have transitioned over to let you know that I'm here with you, right? What are, like, you're sitting in, this is a really interesting thing, but it's almost like because I'm noticing the cat on the hub of the wheel here. Again, the hub, you're the hub here. You're the hubs. It's like you're helping draw together energies. You could be helping people who are, in hospice, connecting to their spirit guides on the other side to help them prepare. This is a really specific message, and it's definitely not going to apply to everybody. But for some of you, that's like part of your life purpose and your life calling, and you are either gaining knowledge and wisdom and skill sets for this right now to move into this later, or you already have some of these skill sets, and you're like, your guides just want you to know, like, hey, this is what you're going to end up doing later on in life, and it's going to be very important. Just because there's so much here about, spiritual guidance and transitioning. But for most of you, your witchy archetype is that of like the true friend, right? The soul friend, the Anam Cara. But the soul friend where you're really, you're connecting people on either side. You could have very high priestessy kind of energy here. You play different roles for different people. You just like think about what a true friend really is. A true friend is somebody who greets us with gentle, loving honesty, gives us the truth, gives us respect, love, support, who sees us, who really sees us and wants us to be our authentic selves. This is what a real friend does. And I think spiritually speaking, you're a friend to many people. So I love that. Your guides also too, for advice, really want you to know, like, especially with any new spiritual skill sets you'd like to learn, because some of you with the death card here in the world, you might be transitioning to a new spiritual role. You may find that you've kind of filled one spiritual role for a long time and now you're moving into something else. You're like, let's say, you've been a channeler and now you're moving into mediumship, more specifically, right? Or you've been clairaudient and you've been sort of using that to share information with people. But now you're moving more toward directly connecting to spirits on the other side. There's just examples. But any kind of new spiritual skill sets or gifts that you've been looking to develop, your guides are saying, like, I'm hearing it's okay, right? So like, let's say if you've really kind of like made a name for yourself, or you're very comfortable with what you have been doing, it's okay to change into a new role. Some of you may have been going through a healing in your own life, especially when it comes to your authenticity. And your spiritual authenticity, like who you really are and what you can do. And it's like, as you've been healing that, it's okay to let yourself like graduate and transform and go to the next thing. Because some of you, there's like a little bit of trepidation around that, and your guides want you to know, like, it's time, right? Some of you, it's like you had a role for a really long time, and it's kind of like, if I leave this behind, who's there to help, right? Who will be there to help the people that I love, to help my friends? Who will be there to do what I've been doing if I'm now doing something else? And they want you to know it's fine. There's divine order to everything. You moving on to the next thing, you putting your energy and intention and attention into the next thing that you feel very drawn to. And for many of you, you're already like intuitively kind of feeling drawn to this, or very soon will be, maybe in Scorpio season. I just love this cat just standing there like, damn. I don't know why, it's really funny to me. Because I'm noticing the fish too, there's a lot of abundance in this new path. But by you moving on to something new, it doesn't mean you're abandoning what used to be important to you or abandoning that role. Somebody else will take up your role, right? That's kind of the divine order of things. When you move away from something and it creates a void, somebody else is now taking that place. The same way whatever skill sets you're moving toward, whatever void you are going to be filling is left by somebody else, right? That's the natural order of things, or endings and beginnings. So don't be afraid of something ending because a new beginning is around the corner, and don't be afraid of beginning something else knowing that something else has to end. Your ending is somebody else's new beginning, the same way your new beginning was somebody else's ending, and that's the natural order of things. So don't feel guilty about moving on to the next thing or the next phase, or allowing yourself to shift and change in how you move about the world and how you are with others. So that's just about everything I'm getting for group one. This was really good. So I hope this has been helpful. If you are looking for help with your specific situations or your questions, please feel free to check out my shop link in the description box below. Like I said, I do custom readings, so hit me up if you don't see something that answers your specific question. I'm wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. I'm so happy you were here. And with that, I'm going to move to group two. Bye, guys. Oh, goodness. Hi, group two. Okay, so you guys chose the hemimorphite. I'm still learning crystals, so I don't know as much as I would like to about it, but I was super drawn into this because, like, look at that color. It's just freaking gorgeous, right? And it almost makes me think of like aquamarine meets turquoise kind of vibes. So this could be, you know, so aquamarine is the birthstone for March, turquoise is the birthstone for December. So either of those times might be important to you, any of the signs associated. So we would be looking at Pisces and Aries, and then Sagittarius and Capricorn. Either of those might be important. But yeah, this is just like, I'm getting super duper spiritual energy. Again, with those like water and earth kind of mixtures, you might be very comfortable with your divine feminine energy. But like, I'm almost getting, so I'm really drawn into her, first of all. Like, just look at her expression, look at how she holds herself. There's like all this stuff going on, and she's like holding our gaze, right? And it almost makes me think of like, it almost feels like breaking the fourth wall a little bit, where I'm like, she's not supposed to be looking at us like that. Like, she knows. That's the weirdest thing. So for some of you, your witchy archetype is already, oh, there's a little squirrel right outside my window. Hello. Hello. Oh, it's so cute. Hi. It's looking right at me, you guys. You guys. And it's holding its little paws in front of it like that. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm fine. We're fine here. So for some of you, squirrels are important. They should be for all of us. They're so cute. Okay, I'm done. It ran away. That's not why I'm done, but it's like I heard me be like, okay, I'm done. They're like, sorry, I don't want to distract you. Okay, so yeah, for some of you, you know what this is like? It's like she's aware that she's in a card, right? Like she's aware that she's in the scene. So for some of you, you may have always had this like hyper awareness of like your spiritual self versus your earthly self, right? It's that kind of energy of like participant versus observer. And you guys may have always been very fluidly moving between the two, right? You may have been prone to like being really spacey, either in childhood or still in adulthood. And, you know, I'm not saying that this can't have, you know what this almost feels like? This feels like a little bit of like almost dissociative energy. And I'm not like a mental or physical health professional, so nothing we are talking about should be considered for like substitute for professional diagnosis, treatment, or advice. But there's this energy where it's almost like some of you might not have been able to tell if some of what you experience is like due to like mental health situations or concerns, or if it's spiritual in nature. So for example, if you've always been like a little bit spacey, you might kind of like, or like there may have been moments where you're like, is this dissociation, or is this something kind of really spiritual where I'm just hyper aware of the confines of this reality and what I'm seemingly experiencing. I hope that makes sense, right? Because again, it's just like being watched. I don't know how else to describe it. For some of you, you may have always had that feeling of being watched and you can't like really quite pin it down. Some of you might be very, very, okay, hang on. I'm trying to channel for you, but there's so much. Some of you might be very tapped in, even if you're not like consciously aware of it in terms of putting labels on it. Very, very tapped into the collective unconscious. And that kind of like messes with your perception of, you know, when to be in observer mode and when to be in participant mode. So again, it's like they're showing me like somebody flipping a switch way too fast or like short circuiting something. So for some of you, it's like you might have this kind of, I'm excited to see what your cards are because this is really unique. For some of you, you may have kind of had this sort of thing where like, because look, this is, you know, there's like a nice little house, and there's trees and birds in the sky. And so obviously some of this isn't a cohesive scene, but some of this is very normal looking. And so there might just be these moments in your life that are really distinct for you where you're kind of like, everything seems on the surface normal, but it feels like you're playing a role. It feels like it's not fully real. And for some of you, this might have been something that you have always had this experience. And part of it is like part of it is that you guys, you have a really unique consciousness. You have a high level consciousness that doesn't, it's like the energy of your consciousness, your soul consciousness, doesn't translate very well to the earth plane. And it might feel like weird or glitchy sometimes, especially if you guys identify as like light workers or starseeds. You're connected to like collectives that are associated with higher dimensions. Whether you're from those kind of collectives or you're working heavily with those collectives, it's like there's something about it that, again, it's like glitching your experience here. I hope that makes sense. That's really unique. Like, oh, I'm excited. Okay, let's see what you have, because I'm gonna pee my pants if I don't get into this soon. Feeling flesh. Okay, wow, they are just making out with each other. This is card 50 though, so that reduces to a 5. I'm excited to see what this card is about. I've never pulled that. Yeah, right, okay, I'm see light with skill. And we have 10% on the calculator. I wanted to look at that. Here we go. Apricot, rejoice and laugh, card 20. So that reduces to a 2. I love that. And Skull of Darkness with blind spots. Okay, I love this. Is the candle right on top of the head here. Where do I want to put this? Okay, right here. And then this is supposed to be the archetype card. So let's see what you have. The Manifester. Okay, card 14. So we have another 5. So 5 and 5. Affirmation is, I am manifesting what I see in my mind's eye. Interesting. I'll leave that here for now, like this. So I do want to read from the guidebook for this because I am still learning this deck and I just want to make sure I'm doing it justice. Okay, so the keyword here is embodiment, but it says, roll your tongue along the roof of your mouth, beloved. Trace the symbol of infinity on the soft pink of your palate and breathe deeply. Feel at home in your skin. We learn so early to distrust our emotions and discount our bodies. But from today forward, let us commit to trusting our feeling flesh. Our bodies know what will nourish us, yet we sometimes fall out of sync with our bodies and blood, with our own bones and blood. We sometimes must relearn the language the body speaks, and this requires a fierce respect for our animal nature. Okay, this is exactly what I'm talking about. First of all, I feel like a lot of you are very balanced in your masculine and feminine energies. So that's dope. Congratulations. It's super interesting, right? Okay, so this person, this little skull here, has this candle like directly on top of the crown area, right? Not only if you pick this group, you are a really skilled manifester, but there are blind spots to your power, right? There are absolutely like blind spots to your powers here. And this is kind of what your guides want to talk about in order to help you moving forward. There's something where you might be very much up in your head. You might have like significant Mercury placements as well. In addition to possibly a lot of like earth and water energy in your chart. Just like very heavy Mercury energy. But again, there's something here where very spiritual consciousness. You're very connected. But there's something about it that it doesn't translate well to the earth plane. I just keep getting that it doesn't fully translate. And as a result, a lot of you, like, especially with 10%, so you guys are skilled manifestors. You are very skilled consciousnesses. You know what I'm trying to say here. But there's something where like your higher self, it's almost like you're only getting 10% of your entire, or like you're only like utilizing 10% of your soul's power. And some of that is related to, again, it's just not translating to the earth plane very well if you chose this group. A lot of people here, like I said, you're either like, you're a higher dimensional consciousness or you're very connected to collectives that are. And like the higher the dimension, the less it, like for example, if you're connected to like, you know, some Arcturian or kind of Andromedan energy, you're going to be really vibing in those higher level dimensions. And if like that's the collective you're associated with, you're working with, it's going to be even harder than say like being like a Pleiadian, which is already hard enough. It's going to be even harder for some of your soul's energy to fully ground and translate on this earth plane. So for a lot of you, especially if you kind of tend to get, it's really interesting, we were talking about dissociation, but like disconnected from the physical body, I think it must be hard for you because it's like it's all there. You can sense the connection, it's there. But it's like, why is this not fully landing? Why is this not? And for a lot of you, I feel like it's also, I'm almost getting this energy of like, it's almost like this energy of, with apricot, rejoice and laugh. Like, I feel like this group, you're capable of like really high levels of joy and like laughter, super high vibrational emotions. But it's kind of like nobody feels happiness like you do. Nobody like experiences true joy like you do, but when you hit the lows, nobody feels it like you do either. It destroys you is kind of what I'm getting. And you might find that like, I'm drawn into 10%, that you're only really experiencing this like joy and happiness, this expression, like 10% of the time, 10 to 20% of the time, or like 10 to 20% of your capacity. Like, I feel like there's this understanding, if you pick this group, like this intuitive understanding or in the back of your mind where you're like, everything I'm experiencing is, it's fine, or it's in alignment, it's normal, it's what everybody else is going through, but there's something missing, like something is just not landing. It's not what it could be. And this is because you have that higher dimensional energy and it's just not fully grounding. Some of you I'm almost getting with a masculine and feminine, like smooching energy here. Some of you in part might feel more grounded and stable in your lives when you have a partner, especially when you have a partner with whom you have a physical relationship. And this is kind of an overarching theme here, where one of the reasons why I feel like your guides are trying to direct you to this reading is that connecting with your physical body more is a missing piece. And what they really want to like stress and emphasize is that it's not going to solve the entire issue, right? Like, you're not going to feel like you're at 100%. Like, you're always going to feel a little bit out of place if this resonates with you. There's always going to be those moments where you're like, this feels totally like fucking fake. This feels totally unreal, man. I don't know. But it will also kind of help ground some of your energy a little more. It'll help reduce the blind spots, because there's something where it's like, I'm almost getting this energy of, again, like your very, very like high level spiritual consciousness. Also too, you guys, like I said, are great manifestors. You might have a really vivid imagination, or you're always thinking about how things could be. You're very future focused. But the problem is that when we're always future focused, success is a combination of a vision for the long term and then the small steps you take on a daily basis to get you closer to that. And for this group, I feel like you can see the future, like in the sense that you could see how it would all come together. You have that future focus, you have that vision, but you're struggling to stay grounded with your energy in the now in order to take those steps to move it forward. So you guys are like the big idea people. You guys are like, the visionaries, like, heavy Aquarian, like age consciousness here, like, oh, I could see how things could be, but you struggle to take action in your daily life, or take like actions that will collectively over time accumulate. There we go. I was like, what's that fucking word? Like, accumulate. Actions that will accumulate success toward your vision, right? We see this with the candle, with the light especially. That's a strong flame. Like, you have it. You have the ideas. You can manifest this. But there's something where I feel like there is a struggle because you guys struggle to stay grounded. So there's a huge emphasis here on needing to work on grounding more. And again, for some of you, this is why if you're, when you're in relationships or you have something that feels like a solid partnership and you can ground your physicality in a way that feels loving, supportive, safe, nurturing, pleasurable, like things that are high vibrational emotions applied to your physical body, or that are like your physical body is getting grounded. Like, I think we all have like we've all had that experience where we don't realize that that we might have like a lot of pent up emotion, and then you get like a really tender hug from somebody you care about, and it just like you just burst into tears, or you just start feeling everything. This is what that is that you have a lot of like, you have a lot of kind of like, they're showing me like energy just circulating in the body. You have a lot of energies that, again, 10%, it's like they don't translate well to the earth plane. So by grounding your physical body, you're allowing that energy to cycle out. And it doesn't have to be through physical relationships with other people. This is where doing grounding meditation, spending more time outside, you know, spending time being very, very physically and emotionally present. So again, earth and water, physically and emotionally present for things that make you happy. Working with this color might be really helpful. For some of you, eating apricots might be helpful. But it's like working with things, like being very present emotionally and physically for things that make you happy is going to really help ease this kind of like dissonance that you're experiencing. Because I think this dissonance is now kind of like impacting how well you can manifest. I want to know more about this. This is freaking fascinating. I'm just giving the tarot deck a little shuffle. Oof. Oh, my wrist is killing me. I broke this wrist last November, and it's like, it's healed, it's fine, but when the weather starts to get a little janky like this, it just is so freaking sore. Oh my God. Okay. But, what's the question I want to ask? What do I want to ask? I want to ask what some of these blind spots are and get more information on that. Boop. I want to look at this card but not take it. The High Priestess. Yeah, see, I was talking about this. Like, you guys are really spiritually connected. You're very intuitive. Like, you're out of this world. Pisces energy too, and this is why it like needs to ground. And as a result too, Nine of Pentacles reversed, again, this might be why you tend to do better in partnerships, is because there's something where not only physically connecting, but the other person's energy, if it's more attuned to the earth plane than yours is, it might help you ground. So if you've had that experience, like, I'm not going to be here to say there isn't a psychological connection, but if you've had that experience, this might be partially why from a spiritual perspective. And if you've ever, like, I'll save you my rant, but long story short, too late. If you've ever had like a reading with me, I talk about this a lot. I think there's a really valuable intersection between psychology and spirituality. I don't think they have to be at war with one another the same way, you know, science and spirituality should ideally be working together to kind of help us navigate through our human existence, answering as much as possible the, you know, the small y, the y with a lowercase w, and the big Y, you know, with an uppercase W. So I don't think they have to be mutually exclusive, and I don't think they should be, to be honest. So when I say stuff like this, like, I'm not precluding psychological, oh, there's another squirrel. Okay, sorry. Psychological discourse to be applied to your experiences and psychological concepts to be applied, far from it. But in terms of the big why, the, you know, I think this is where spirituality can lend possibly some insight. So I just wanted to say that. But let's see. We have these blind spots. Three of Pentacles. Okay. The Emperor reversed. Okay. Aries showing up, so that might be applicable. And the Three of Wands. Okay. So this has everything to do with working with other people, right? This is a manifestation card. I want to clarify this Emperor reversed real quick, though. Oh, my God. Okay. That's... Oh, they want me to take all of them. All right, I will. Two of Cups. You guys, I can't make this shit up. Four of Cups reversed. Okay. King of Swords reversed. And the Seven of Cups. Okay. So here's what I'm kind of getting. Can we see all these? Can you mostly see them? We got it. We got it, babies. Okay. Again, connections might really help you ground your energy. And I see the desire for them here. Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands. We have, you know, this is teamwork makes the dream work, spiritual partnerships. This is, you know, I love that this is usually depicted as one person. And this is like somebody kind of looking out over the horizons, and they're waiting for their ships to come in from all their hard work. There is, in terms of these blind spots, which is what we were asking for, I feel like, and these are clarifying the Emperor reversed. I actually want to talk about these applying to the Emperor reversed first. We also have air energy here, so this could represent one particular person, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm not picking up on one particular person as much, but I wanted to put it out there. So this is somebody who upright has their shit together. And actually, whenever I see the Emperor or the Empress reversed, and then one of the kings or the queens, respectively, of the tarot reversed, because he's all 4 kings of the tarot rolled into one, and she's all 4 queens, this is like somebody would be the Emperor if they can get this area of their life under control. So this is like, what I feel like this is talking about is that, you know, we have the manifestor here, right? You have this capability. You hold so much power, so much spiritual knowledge and insight, so much knowledge from the higher realms that you could do some crazy ass stuff with it. You could just blast the door off this shit if you wanted to, right? Like, and I don't want to say if you wanted to, like you don't want to, right? You know, I could rant about that for another time, but it's like, if you master this, you might be aware of this, but you might not fully understand how much you could do. Like, you could do some crazy shit. You could have Mercury in Aries. You could have Aries in the 12th house. You could have, to an extent, Moon in Aries. Just thinking about, you know, I'm thinking about where in your natal chart could talk about blind spots, or like, I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of things it could be, but you could have significant placements related to your cognition and to your subconscious, in Aries or in your first house. But like, you could get some serious shit done. And you know, we have this little orange kitten, and the orange cat's over here as well. This could very well be that you're at the beginning of this kind of journey to find your Emperor energy. And when you finally get, excuse me, when you finally get to the end of the road, you're going to be this friggin' incredible manifester who can just make shit happen out of thin air. Almost giving me magician vibes, even though we don't see him here. But the thing that is stopping you currently is a mindset with the King of Swords. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of, it's confusion, right? And we're just talking about things that could talk about blind spots with your mind or the subconscious. And we have this energy with these two, right? There is confusion. You might have a lot of different options in front of you. You might dream up a lot of possibilities. And it's almost like this energy of you struggle to ground it. I'm really picking this up. You struggle to ground it. So for some of you, I'm almost getting this as a separate message. The thing that should be kind of your compass in moving forward and grounding your manifestations should really revolve around what makes you truly happy. If it's not something that speaks to your happiness, it's not going to be the right path for you moving forward. I am getting that. And we'll get more into it. Oh, that's one of my hairs. Sorry. So from me to you with love. But for a lot of you, there's a huge thing where I'm going to pull one card to clarify what I want to say before I want to say it. Excuse me. I'm coughing. Okay. All right. So, okay, I see. We had 5 of Swords, 9 of Swords, Justice coming out, a lot of air energy here, and then 8 of Cups reversed at the bottom. So for a lot of you, you do have trouble grounding your energy, and this is where connecting to other people can be helpful sometimes. I feel like there's an imbalance when it comes to how you connect with people, especially with the 2 of Cups upright, the 4 of Cups reversed. I feel like you've experienced some significant traumatic relationships in your past where it's made you, like, you could have had a lot of like fighting, a lot of power struggles, a lot of anxiety, a lot of kind of like feeling like you need to hide who you really are. There are a lot of karmic connections that you may have had to battle. And I feel like this has made it so you want to connect with other people, right? Teamwork kind of energy here. We see an image of teamwork on a card that usually just depicts one person. It's like you want to connect with others. You understand that connecting with others is a beneficial thing for you. But I feel like you've had enough relationships in the past that it's like, this is usually about apathy. And we have a lotus here, which is always about enlightenment, right? And this is reversed. So this is Four of Cups reversed to me is like a get your ass in gear card. This is where somebody's finally waking up and they're seeing like, whoa, I got to take action. I feel like you've had a lot of partnerships in the past that have been really challenging. Five of Swords, Nine of Swords, Justice. Could have been karmic in nature. Could have been soul contracts to teach you important lessons to get you started on this next leg of your journey. And what I feel like has happened as a result, with that dissociation energy we were talking about earlier, this could have contributed to that, especially in childhood. But what it is, I feel like it's created a lot of confusion for you about who you can trust and who you can't. Because with Three of Pentacles and this version of the Three of Wands, I see that having people on your team and in your corner, because look, this cat's looking at these two cats, right? Like just chilling. And these three cats are working together. It's like looking here and saying, I want that. I want to partner with people. I want, I feel like you're here to do big things, right? You guys have that high level consciousness, or you are, you have a collective like that backing you up. You are a skilled manifester. You also, and like, again, you're only utilizing like 10% of your soul's capabilities right now. Like you have no idea. Even if you kind of know, you have no idea what you can do. Like, seriously. And I feel like this also might be where you have like an odd relationship with when to work with others and when to work alone. I am kind of seeing that here. And in the past, you may have had like a lot of really, like I said, challenging partnerships, romantic or otherwise. And it's like may have kind of made you, like what I'm getting from this energy is like you could do anything. You could have a lot of different options, but when it comes to like, you need to partner with other people to make your dreams happen, to make, to bring down this new reality, to ground something new, to manifest everything that you're here to accomplish. But I feel like there is a fear around connecting with others because there is this fear of, loss, betrayal, of needing to kind of like hide your authentic self away just due to what you've experienced, right? And this is what I feel like, if this is all the stuff kind of clarifying and backing, like describing the Emperor reversed, it's like you have so much power that you're going to be tapping into in this lifetime. And the thing that that you need to overcome next is any kind of cognitive blockages when it comes to, this is also somebody who's very direct with their words, who's very decisive, and who, I always call the King of Swords the man with the plan, right? We have we got some BDE going on here and here when they're upright, but they're both reversed. And so there's something here where like, I do feel like you need to be like I feel like you've had a lot of experiences in the past where it feels like the rug's been pulled out under you. Maybe people that you really trusted and they backstabbed you, right? You had good ideas and they just like shot them down, right? People may have tried to like sabotage your efforts. There's something here where it's like, I want to move forward, right? I want to make this happen with the Three of Wands. I want to manifest this. You might be in a position or being prepared to be put in a position of leadership. And it's like, I want this. I want to manifest this. I want to be this boss energy. But I don't know. It's like, yes, I don't know if I can trust other people, but at the heart of it is a fear of trusting yourself, just due to what you've experienced. And that makes a lot of sense. That would check out. But this is the thing that I do feel like your team is trying to help you with, because I feel like there's this desire for partnership, again, romantic or otherwise. There's a desire for partnership. There's a desire to ground your manifestations, but there is also fear around that, and it's fear of trusting yourself. I want to know what specifically there's a fear of trusting yourself with. So it is about who you share your vision with, but it's also something else. Like, I feel like there's like a fear of your own personal power. Yeah, that one too. Temperance at the bottom. Again, like, this is always when you're blending two opposites. and making like magic out of it. I feel like there's something unique you want to do. There's something like, you know, maybe it's not very, like it's not heard of very often, and there's something special you want to bring to the table, but there's a blockage in terms of like how to do it, or, you know, it's like this kind of energy of, you know, when you're like walking that line between, oh, I want to do something unique and like make it my niche, but it also needs to be marketable. You might be kind of walking that line, but there's a fear in trusting your assessment of the situation. Okay, 6 of Cups. 9 of Pentacles reversed, absolutely. Wow, 10 of Wands, yeah. And the 2 of Wands, okay. So, for a lot of you, I feel like you're at this 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands spot. You're wrapping up this cycle where you've been really carrying a heavy burden. It's got the snake in its mouth, so, you know, snakes are always indicative of healing and transformation. They can be indicative of deception as well, though, so this might have been a cycle where you've had to deal with some really heavy deception from others, particularly with the 6 of Cups, people you've been very close to for a long time, like since childhood or adolescence, or people who you have a really strong soul bond with, and it's like the ultimate backstab. And for a lot of you, you might be like carrying that with you, right? You may have really trusted people to kind of like support you, to have your back, right? Because they're kind of like holding on to this little cat as he's like leaning down to grab stuff, to really like support you and have your back. And that the bottom may have fallen out of that. And I feel like you're in this energy, especially because this cat is looking at these other 2 cards. Like in the past, you may have really struggled to be alone for a lot of reasons. You may have had a really significant, like I said, friendship. There may have been childhood wounds tied into this, where it's like, because this is when you love someone or something wholeheartedly, right? 6 of Cups is like your first love. It's before you ever have love kind of bite you in the ass and you realize that it might not go how you want it to go, right? And we kind of get older and we sort of start accepting that that's, you know, that's part of the collateral damage of being human, and the reward when it does work is worth the risk, and all that other beautiful platitudinal stuff. But you may have really had some, I'm really drawn into the rooster here as well. So there could be Year of the Rooster going on for some of you here. Roosters always to me are like a little bit of a wake-up call too, and it can be like funny, but also kind of like a harsh wake-up call where you're like, oh God, okay, I'm not ready. So for some of you, this is something where there was a final straw, I'm hearing recently, and it's like you've been on this path of ascension. Stairs always indicate ascension for me. You've been on this path of ascension, and it's like you've been on this path of ascension, and you finally have had this turning point, right? It's the 10, it's the end of a cycle. But what I feel like happened is there is a wake-up call, right? 9 of Pentacles, when it's upright, is like you're abundant, you're independent, you're taking care of your own stuff. You feel good about yourself. You feel grounded in yourself and what you can do and you can accomplish. And there may have been this level to which, you know, there have been like childhood wounds in the way. This also could have to do with family. I'll explain why in a moment. This could have talked about a significant soulmate relationship that even extended from a past life into this one, possibly with an Aries. Sorry, I'm giggling about that for personal reasons. Oh boy, Aries. I love everybody out there that's you know, going the way of the ram here. Anywho, whatever this was that happened for you, I feel like it happened, again, not long ago, and the whole point was to illuminate these blind spots, because it's time for you to take your throne. It's time for you to like seize your power in a really unique way. And I feel like this situation, like I said, either like was from childhood or may have played on wounds from childhood, and it brought your attention to it. And this may have been very challenging with the snake, but also very transformational and very healing. You know, because again, we have the 2 and then the 3. There's a point here where you're planning, right? And you're trying to go for it. I love that this like cat is holding on to the branch, but also like, oh, let me just grab that little lizard there. Like, it's like these cats are screwing with reptiles every chance they get. But there's something here where it's like, this situation has really shown you your blind spots, shown you your, like, shown you ways where you might be struggling to really, like, seize your own power. And what I feel like this is meant to bring forward is your guides want to talk about this now, because it's time to go from the 2 to the 3. Your ships are on the horizon. They're on their way to you. Whatever it is you're trying to manifest, it's on its way to you. And this entire situation has happened or is happening or will kind of happen soon if it hasn't already. For many of you, I feel like this already happened. And maybe it's still playing out, but it's like it's already, underway. And this could have to do very significantly with a partnership, just because, this image, 6 of Cups, we saw the 2 of Cups, all that good stuff. This was meant to show you how strong and independent you can be, right? It's a wake-up call, and I know that sometimes it can be really harsh, but there's something where it's like, with the image we saw in the manifestor card before, I feel like there's something where you're always in this world but not of it, and that's not going to change. Like, that's the whole thing. That's not going to change for this group. You're always going to have that feeling a little bit, but there's something where it's like being really ungrounded in that energy, and thus, like, I feel like you've accidentally kind of, maybe made yourself dependent on being with other people. It's like, I feel like for a lot of you, again, partnership is a grounding thing for you. And that's not a wrong thing to want, but there is something where you may have been overly reliant on that. So I do see this here. And part of why your team's trying to emphasize this now is what you want, that shit's on its way, right? And it's interesting, we have a lot of like this apricot color going on here too. Like, this is on its way. I'm hearing ready or not, like, this is coming to you, and they're trying to make sure you're getting ready for it, that you're going to be ready to seize your power. And something I had noticed when I was looking at this card while I was talking earlier, I had noticed before, this cat has a mouse in its mouth, and these 2 cats have kittens, right? It's like, again, this is all about teamwork makes the dream work, but we already have like a little team going on right here. And this cat's coming in with a mouse. This is weird. For some of you may have been cheated on. I am seeing that. Take it as it resonates. But it's really interesting too. I'm noticing there's a mouse in the lattice work here, but this cat's not looking. And these cats are all over the lattice work, but there's no mouse there. I don't know why I'm just like noticing these little details now. And this also can really be, again, with the mouse being sort of indicative of like abundance, something solid. This may very well be where in the past you've had, it's like you've had it, it's been there all along. You've had what you've needed. You've had, the opportunity. Maybe you missed it the first time around and it's coming back now. But there's something where it's going to be your time to grab it, right? And this is what your team is trying to prepare you for, because you have been manifesting this. And it's interesting, again, we have a 5 here, and then we have, a 5 here. Through all of the changes, all the chaos, all of the, challenges you've experienced, you're still manifesting something amazing, something that will make you so happy. But there's something here where whatever has happened that just kicked the crap out of you, it has happened to wake you up. So when this comes around, you will grab it this time, because I feel like you didn't notice it last time, or you didn't trust it before. You didn't trust yourself enough before. And that's the difference. Again, grab it. Like, I feel like this time you're going to go for it. This time you're reaching for it. This time you're ready for it. And this is really what your team wants. So maybe you've been going through something and your team wants to bring you a little bit of healing about this. And for some of you, this is absolutely trying to manifest a partnership. What the hell are you guys trying to manifest? I need to know. It's going to be different for everybody, but I'm spiritually nosy and then regular nosy too. And like, it's here. I don't want to miss it. Yeah. No, but I want to look at it. 8 of Swords. Yeah, you've kind of kept yourself from going after this. It's been a mindset. And I feel like 2 of Cups. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see, babe. High Priestess. Okay. Pisces energy. The Empress reversed. No fucking shit. Okay. And the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Taurus, Libra here. Like I said, Pisces. 8 of Pentacles reversed. I want to pull one more because we did have that 2 of Cups at the bottom. Okay. 7 of Cups, 5 of Swords. Yes, I see you. What is this thing though? Because this could go either way. Okay, Queen of Swords. So just because of what's coming out here, this could go either way. This, for some of you, this is a counterpart connection. You may have felt like you found it before, like somebody you could, especially because she's got kittens here, somebody you could have a family with, somebody you could, just have it all with, right? Because actually it's hard to, well, in this deck, this image of the two cats that look like this, sitting on this little ledge with all the bales of hay, this is on the 10 of Pentacles. It's like somebody who you could run an empire with. And with the Empress and the Emperor both showing up reversed, it's like you may have had this happen where you thought this was going to be your everything, and it didn't work out, right? Especially where we have the mouse here. It's like you were bringing good stuff to the table here, right? And I feel like with the High Priestess, there were a lot of secrets here. This is why I'm saying there may have been some infidelity. This could talk about if these are like childhood wounds, these are like family secrets, and there's just a lot that like you didn't put the pieces together here. But this is like, I feel like with the Empress reversed and the 8 of Pentacles reversed, this situation, this is likely either a relationship or this is work, right? This is your career. And there's something where you may have thought this was your everything, but it wasn't going to make you happy, right? You may have thought this was your counterpart. Not the case, right? You may have thought this was your dream job, and it, like, I feel like you were willing to go the distance, willing to put up with a lot of things, especially with Rejoice and Laugh, that don't actually make you happy, in order to, because you thought the end was worth it. You thought the prize at the end was going to be worth it. And the situation fell apart because it wasn't aligned to you. It wasn't what you thought it would be. But I feel like you're doubting yourself and you're like struggling to trust yourself. And with the manifester, what your team wants you to know is you can manifest like a mofo, and anything that falls away, falls apart, is not what you were asking for. There's something here where it's like when you have confidence in what you want to manifest, in like, what you want it to feel like, or what you want it to look like, or, what you want your day-to-day to be like when you have this thing in your life, I'm seeing like a tractor beam of energy. Like you can just, boop, you do it. Especially the more confident in yourself, your manifestations are very tied to your personal power. Just so you know, just FYI, baby. And so for a lot of you, it's like you were trying to manifest this thing, and I feel like a lot of you are confused or doubting yourself, right? Like, especially with this Queen of Swords, doubting yourself, like, what did I do? And they want you to know, it's like, this situation was not as it appears. There's a lot of hidden information still. But they do want you to know that even if you don't get all the information, or you don't get it all right now, this situation that fell apart would not have honored you. It was not going to happen. There was a lot of instability. 8 of Pentacles reversed. You would have had to have worked really, really hard to not make any progress, right? There's 2 kittens fighting over this mouse. And it's like, you would have had to maybe compete really, really heavily, because at the bottom of the deck, we did have, or wasn't at the bottom of the deck, it was at the top of the deck, we had the 5 of Wands. So you would have had to compete really heavily for whatever this thing was, and it wouldn't even be worth it. And there's something where with Queen of Swords, I feel like you had to make a decision. You had to cut something out. And this could be where this situation fell apart and then you had to decide to let it go, or you're trying to decide to let it go. And your team is encouraging you, be like, yes, make a decisive choice, because the Queen's upright, the King was not. Make a decisive choice to let this situation go so you can, move toward your goals and grab that opportunity when it comes along. Which for many of you, this is going to be either a divine counterpart, or this is going to be like a dream job scenario. So yeah, I think that's just about everything that I'm seeing for now. I do want to pull you guys like 1 or 2 cards of advice. Okay, wow. Wow, look at that, Magician. I love this. And then a 10 and an ace. Perfect. 4 of Swords at the bottom. You might be waiting for communication or answers, either from a person, from your spirit guides, but things might just be sort of paused right now. And this is where it's like, I feel like you're like, you're trying to figure out, like, did I make the right choice? Is this part of my divine path, or like you're struggling to kind of regain confidence in your discernment, I feel, for a lot of you. But with the Magician, like what your team wants you to know, you are a master manifester, baby. You are manifesting exactly what you want. And with the 10 of Cups reversed, there may have been something, like I said, that fell apart. A home, a family, a great relationship, something that seemed like it was your ticket to happiness. Let it go. The truth of the situation is coming around, both, either because something even better is coming in for you not too long from now. Very fast moving energy with the Magician, with the Ace of Swords. A new beginning is going to come along that's going to confirm to you that you're on the right path, that you are like on the straight and narrow toward what you wanted to manifest. So try to take time to rest, especially get mental rest as much as possible. And know that what you want is like headed right toward you. Be confident in what you have manifested for yourself. Yeah. So that was a lot, but I hope this has been helpful. I am wishing you guys the best, brightest, most beautiful things that life has to offer. I'm wishing you well through this time, and I will hopefully get to see you guys very soon. With that, I'm going to move on to group 3. Take care, guys. Bye. Hi, group 3. Okay, so you picked the blue Appetite. Very calming energy. Hang on, I'm just taking my little sweater off because it is now quite warm. I got hopped up with that last one. But yeah, hi. So welcome to your Witchy Archetype reading. Yeah, I'm feeling really calm energy. This feels like very kind of like wise woman of the woods, like very crone energy in the best of ways. But let's see what you've got going on. I feel like you guys are really peaceful. You have a very calming energy. And this comes from wisdom. This is like people feel immediately calm by your presence because it's very much like, okay, they've got us. Like, group 3, you've got me. Like, okay, I'm in good hands. And I feel like this is a very old soul group. Like, you guys have walked this earth many times, in many ways, many different disguises. And this is where, like, you have a quiet confidence. You help people feel reassured. Because, like, again, it's that I'm in good hands. They feel like you know what you're doing. And just in everything you do, right? No matter how experienced you are, it's like you understand the ups and downs of life. So no matter what area this applies to, how you're helping people, your archetype is that of like the old soul, the truly wise person. So that's dope. Well, let's see what you have. You have, ooh, Song of the Seal Woman. I love it. This is card 49 that reduces to a 15, which reduces to reduces to a 13, which reduces to a 4. Sorry, you guys. We have, ooh, style. So stylish. Gold, attract abundance. All right, big Venus energy going on here. Okay. We have Skull of Light, illumination. Yeah, you really help people understand, especially with all the purple here. And then, excuse me, the Mentor. No shit. Okay, I love it. 48 reduces to a 12, which reduces to a 3. But the affirmation is, I respect and learn from the wisdom of my elders. Yes, baby. So that is your archetype is the Mentor. I do want to read from the book for the Song of the Seal Woman, just because I'm still learning this deck and I want to do it justice. Also, it's an awesome deck. But the theme here is homecoming. And it says, come home, child, come home. Come home to the truth of who you are. Yes. Have you forgotten what makes your poet's soul sing? Recall a time in your life when you were so certain of your sovereignty, when you knew your work had worth and your heart was worthy of love. Who or what has stolen your wildness away? Homecoming is a practiced art. We do not simply stumble upon our authenticity. It is hard won, and retaining our genuine nature takes discipline. So many societal forces, I cannot talk, you guys. So many societal forces try to peel our fingers back from our pelts, from our more creaturely skin, and we do not find ourselves home without effort. I promise you, though, the return is well worth the work. Amen. It absolutely is. Like, yeah. So I feel like for a lot of you, you have, excuse me, this very unique way of being, right? And especially in a world where we're always, kind of like what they were talking about, we're always encouraged to dissociate from our authenticity, and we're encouraged to move at the pace the world sets for us, not at our own internal pace. I feel like you guys are a breath of fresh air. And this is why I feel like a lot of people, you might have like a mysterious energy for people, but a lot of people just kind of like want to know how you do what you do, in the sense that I feel like you're somebody who generally finds ways to enjoy their life. Like, you're not bothered with how other people are doing things. You're doing things how it feels right and sacred for you. And a lot of people have never known that energy in their life, let alone possess that. This is why a lot of people, I feel like people might have kind of like a polarized response to you and your energy, where they're either like, you know, you're the mentor, or they're like, teach me, like, please. They're very eager to learn how you do what you do. I'm picking up like a crone meets Venus kind of energy of like this quiet like sensuality and empowerment, right? Because I think sensuality is highly misunderstood. I think one of the things that's so intoxicating about it is that it's somebody who is grounded and present in the moment, and is enjoying their life, right? They know what they like, they know what they don't like, you know, and they're cultivating many moments in their present that they're just truly here for, and they're truly enjoying, right? And it's when we're in that space that we can attract abundance. I also notice we have the number three. Excuse my burp, I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, it's from that place that we can attract abundance, but we also have a better vantage point to notice and appreciate abundance because we're grounded in the moment. And if you pick this group, whether you do this on purpose or not, this is how people find your energy to be. Your witchy archetype that you're either embodying or you will be embodying in this lifetime is somebody who is very attuned to the cycles of life, and they like, you know, you're not swayed by what's going on around you. You let things happen in your own time. You truly enjoy the moment, and you make that a priority. And I think that's just such a different energy than what is pushed on us and what we're used to, that people find that really intoxicating, right? Again, we have all the pink and purple, and then the energy around the crown area, like, you know, pink and purple is kind of that, you know, heart chakra meets third eye and crown chakra. So it's a very spiritual energy, but it also really speaks to you know, what's true to us in the heart and soul, our authentic truth of what we love. And I feel like this is the energy you live in, right? This is magic in its own right. And people really see that. So I feel like either people are like, yes, teach me, or it almost might put some people off. And just know that if you have that experience where people seem like they don't like you and you don't really know why, that has nothing to do with like you being unlikable. That has everything to do with the fact that people have to become aware of, like, by you living your life in a way that feels good and feels gratifying for you, people who have sacrificed their authenticity and are still unhappy even with that are going to be irritated by you, because it's a reminder of the fact that they are not living a life that makes them happy, right? They weren't happy in, you know, doing things the way that other people try to suggest they should do it, or like try to make them do it that way. But they're also, you know, they're not happy in that situation, and they're not happy, like, they gave up their authenticity, so they're not happy, and they're not happy, like, in the life they're living. It's not even like they gave it up for something they really wanted, because they're giving it up for something that they're chasing other people's approval, other people's, you know, accolades, and that doesn't ever fill our cup for very long, right? And that's not like your responsibility to kind of bear the weight of their journey to authenticity. I think you just kind of serve as a beacon for people, and that's going to be hard for people who feel like they're, you know, deep down, who feel like they're too lost at sea to be able to make changes. And of course, that's not the case, but we all have moments where we feel stuck and we feel trapped. And I feel like for certain people, they're going to see you living in a way that is good and right and you know, that suits you well for you and what you want. And that's going to kind of be an unpleasant reminder for them that that's not what they're living. So I do kind of see that here. Again, very Venus-y energy. You might be very creative, but this just like feels like you have this ephemeral style that's all your own. And because with illumination, I feel like you just understand that there's just a lot more to this life than kind of what society pushes on us. Which I quite like that a lot. Like, I would hang out with y'all for sure. You might be somebody who is very tapped into like their spirituality. You might like to practice witchcraft. There might be a spiritual practice that goes back quite a ways within your family lineage, and you uphold that and keep that, whether it's witchcraft related or not. But I want to pull some more cards about this because I find this very lovely, very calming too. Like as soon as I picked it up, I'm like, ah, this is nice. Yeah. So we have, yes, 10 of Pentacles, absolutely. We have the Ace of Wands reversed, okay. The Knight of Wands, all right. And the Four of Wands, okay. So there's something here where you know, I feel like, again, 10 of Pentacles, Four of Wands, there's a lot of abundance, both, you know, spiritually, energetically, as well as materially, that is either in your life or meant to filter into your life. You have the Midas touch because your energy is like that. Working with gold might be particularly, I'm also getting pyrite for some of you, might be particularly helpful for you to help kind of bring this in more if you're sort of just starting on this journey or you want to manifest more of it. But Ace of Wands reversed, Knight of Wands in the middle. I feel like there's this energy of like, you don't take shortcuts, right? There's this understanding that to get something that is, you know, fulfilling, both, you know, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and like long lasting, very tangibly, that you have to be willing to, with a butterfly, you have to be willing to transform and to make changes. You have to be willing to take the road that's sometimes less traveled, but the one that's truer to you. And you have to be willing to be patient, right? Because we also have this like little cat here who's like about to hit the snake, and like the snakes are always indicative of transformation and healing. And it's like, I feel like too, you know, snakes have that kind of dualistic imagery where yes, they can be about transformation and healing, but they also are kind of heavily paired with deception. But like you think about it, and it's kind of like got a little snake here that could bite. So even though it would lead to transformation and it can lead to healing, it's usually after a bite. Like it's after, you know, the implication is there's risk there. And I feel like with the butterfly, it's like transformation is possible. Like this is the fast way and this is the slow way, right? The caterpillar cocoons itself for an extended period of time, has to fight its way out. But, you know, there are multiple ways to do things, and sometimes, you know, the slow way, letting things kind of play out the way they need to, like just letting everything come into being, into fruition in the right time at its own pace is the best way forward. And I feel like, again, Ace of Wands reversed, Knight of Wands, is that you have people who are like the Knight of Wands, and he's not consistent at all. He's very excited, he's very motivated, he's passionate and inspired and like great hype man. He's like the guy leading the charge, but he also runs out of steam real quick. This is why he's inconsistent as hell. And like, I feel like you come across a lot of people, or a lot of people who need to learn from you are people who have done this before. And it's like not an effective, it's not always, you know, the only tool in your toolbox is a hammer. You're not always going to get the job done, right? And sometimes you need a hammer, but sometimes you don't, right? You got to take another approach. And this is what I feel like you help people understand. And it's just by virtue of you being yourself. You might have like significant Taurus and Libra placements as well. Again, I'm getting heavy like Venus energy, very much in your divine feminine, very empowered in your divine feminine. So this is what I feel like you help people with. You are meant to live an abundant lifestyle in this life for sure. Yeah, wow, like, I like this. This is nice. So I want to know what your guides want to tell you about this, okay? Yeah, look at you. God, I hope this one ends up being my group. All right, Seven of Cups. Okay, Page of Swords, reversed. I want to take the next one too. King of Wands, yeah, okay. So, you know, the last group I would say that they are, one of their powers was like Master Manifester. For you guys, I do see a lot of heavy manifestation power, but there's something here where, like, what is it I'm trying to say here? There's something here where, like, the last group could manifest, I feel like the last group could manifest something that was, like, very, very much on point with their future vision, and their, like, they have a mission here. They have a soul calling and a purpose, and that's what they're on track to do, and they know that deep down. For you guys, I feel like there's something where you have a lot of possibilities with the Seven of Cups. You can manifest a lot of things. I do feel like there's something where I'm almost seeing like bumpers in a bowling lane. So there's something where there's something where you might have a lot of different things that you dream about, that you want, and there's kind of this like, there's this like back and forth where you can manifest a lot of different things, but some things are not going to come to fruition because they're not a part of your soul's path, right? So it's like, there's almost like this energy of, because the page is, you know, the student, the learner, like there's this element where, first of all, you're not a student when it comes to manifestation. King and Queen of Wands are master manifestors. So spiritually, you've done the work in previous lifetimes. You're very spiritually adept, aware, evolved, you know, learned, I'm hearing trained, where, you know, you're not a student here anymore. You're not a kid on this one. And you've really earned this rite of passage to be able to manifest pretty much whatever you want, right? Because you've really done the spiritual work. You have the spiritual maturity, that anything that you would generally think to want to manifest can be of service to the collective, can be, you know, healing to other people, can be just like your mindset, the way you go about manifesting. It's like there's this energy where it will be useful to the collective no matter what you do, pretty much. But there are still a couple things with the Page of Swords. It's like you might still dream up a couple of ideas that are like, you know, in its inception phase, and like, you know, you're kind of there. They feel like they're just like, there's some things that might get taken off your plate really quickly. So like you might have these thoughts of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do XYZ? And then, you know, that situation like that, let's say it's like, wouldn't it be cool to take this class where I'm learning this skill? Boom, the class gets shut down right after. Or you like, you might run into like occasional, again with the bumper imagery, occasional like bumps in the road where you go to like apply for something, or you go to contact somebody, especially online, or like sign up for something, and it gets shut down right before or right after you interact with it. And it's kind of like, wait, what? So just know that generally speaking, you can manifest pretty much whatever you want, but there will still be things that you get a no on. And in case you were confused by that, it's just because they're really not part of your path. Everything else, though, is kind of fair game for sure. And you guys have earned this because, again, you have the spiritual maturity to be able to like back it up, to be able to use it wisely, right? The Knight of Wands to the King of Wands, this is what you help people evolve to know and to be. This person, like I said, inconsistent, wants it right now, no delayed gratification, no understanding of spiritual timing, divine timing, cycles. And then by the time you get to the Queen, and then especially the King of Wands, the difference between the Knight and the King, this person has tempered their energy. This person has learned good things take time. You know, okay, I'm going to give this some more time. This person's learned to be patient because they understand sacred timing. And this is what you have worked on, and thus you serve as a beacon to other people. I also am getting to the Page of Swords reverse. It might behoove this group to limit how much you're on social media or you're interacting with others on social media, just because it's like, again, you're serving as an example. You're serving as a positive example, so other people's criticisms of you don't need to factor into what you're doing or what you think about yourself or what you think about your life and your journey. Doesn't apply here. And kind of interacting with that or opening the door to like people issuing a lot of baseless criticism might sort of just like drag your energy down a little bit. Not hugely so, but hey, if you don't have to deal with BS, why do it? So I do kind of just want to pull this group a couple of cards to get like words of advice from your guides. Okay, cool. Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's something where like I feel like you're kind of hiding something away just like a little bit. There might be anxiety about kind of like stretching your manifesty legs here and going for something bigger. Oh, the Three of Cups. I feel like, hang on, let me look here. Queen of Cups reversed, okay. And Justice, Libra energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces here. There's something where I feel like some of you, you're like coming into this really abundant phase in your life. And there's a little bit of, with the Nine of Swords, I'm going to take it. There's trepidation. There's a little bit of fear around kind of like fully owning your power. Or like, again, stretching your legs, really asking the universe in no uncertain terms, like, I would like this, I want this. Some of you may have been repairing your relationship to money. And that's going to make a huge difference. You might have a massive opportunity on the horizon that's going to, Ten of Pentacles here, going to produce a lot, and the Four of Wands, you know, produce a lot of material stability as well as a lot of happiness. You have a lot of good things coming to you. And, you know, I feel like for some of you, there is a little bit of a fear around bringing these things in because there's a fear around how the people you're close to will take it, right? I'm noticing there's a white cat and two black cats, or mostly black cats. It's like setting yourself aside is different. You might be worried about hurting other people's feelings because I do feel like you're a very empathetic person and you really care. But your team just kind of wants you to know with Justice, like, you have earned this. You have earned comfort. You getting what you want doesn't take away from the other people. Like, you could be living in poverty and misery, but that doesn't, you know, that doesn't seem to affect anybody because they're not, you know, like nobody's going to come to you if you're in a bad place in your life and be like, well, you have that, and it's costing me, you know, because you're taking up all the poverty and misery consciousness. There's none left for me, right? They only care when you're getting good stuff and they feel like they're not. But the thing is, your journeys don't have anything to do with each other. So if they're not getting what they'd like out of life, you changing up your routine, you changing up your consciousness, you hiding away, you playing it small, doesn't get them what they want. That's solely predicated on their own journey. And because I feel like you really care about people and you want to make sure you're not hurting anyone. You want to make sure there's fairness. And I love that. Like, I don't know who you are, but I'm already really loving it. And just know that what happens, the good stuff that comes to you, the abundance that comes to you, it's not taken from somebody else. There's always enough. It's just that they're on their journey and they're not there yet. And if anything, you being very, you know, serving as a good example for other people and being very open with your, you know, your kind of like, yep, this is what I do, or like, yep, this is what I think, this is how I live, being very open about how you do it, and about your ephemeral style, like, will help guide other people toward what it is they want as well. So I think that's just about everything I'm seeing for group 3. I hope this has been helpful. If you're looking for help with your specific situation, feel free to check out my shop link in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a joy, an honor, and delight to read for you, and I hope I get to again in the future. Take care, love bugs. Bye.